and queens, how y'all doing? Listen, I am Keisha ShonGee Johnson. Thank you so much for tuning in to Wine La Vie podcast. We are going to have a phenomenal show for you tonight. When I tell you it's going down, your girl ShonGee, baby, I'm looking fly, I'm looking good, I'm feeling good, okay? How y'all doing? I hope you had an opportunity to enjoy your day, okay? But what you didn't complete, listen, worry about it tomorrow, okay? But right now, I want you to come on in and let's wind on down, right? It's been a long day. Listen, a hard day. You done been up early. You done took care of kids, took care of the job, took care of your bosses, took spouses. Now it's time to take care of you, okay? So listen, during this whole season of just fasting and praying and meditating. Okay. So I have been on the Daniel fast. Okay. For the whole month of January, right? So I am coming to my last week of my fast, right? So everybody wanted to know, Keisha, what are you doing? Your skin is glowing, you're looking good, you're looking fabulous. What are you doing? And how is God, just blessing you in your life, right? So, you know how I always prepare Shakiri for you, right? So, the feature for tonight, listen, we're fasting, right? So, we're being obedient, right? So, I have my sparkling apple cranberry juice, right? Really, really, really good, right? So I am being obedient. I know that God is going to stretch my territories. He is putting me in a position to meet all new people, have opportunities coming my way. It's going to be a fantastic, phenomenal 2025, right? So, during this Daniel fast, I went to the market, right? So, I only eat fish. I eat it, sparingly, right? Just to keep my protein levels up, right? But normally I am a vegetable girl, right? Vegetables and fruit, right? So I went to the market this weekend. So people always want to know, how do I eat and how am I looking so young and how am I looking so fabulous? Really, it's the method to the madness, right, honey? Trying to take care of this body, yada, yada, my mind, my soul, my heart. Listen, it's a whole process, right? So listen, I got some cherry grape tomatoes, right? So I always love these cherry grape tomatoes. They are fantastic in meals. They're fantastic just to cut them in half, eat them raw with some vinaigrette or some raspberry apple cider vinegar dressing. Okay, ranch dressing. Listen, I love it, right? Look, I got some fresh blueberries, right? Blueberries, right? So you see how pretty those blueberries are, right? So make sure you check out your fresh vegetables. Make sure that they're looking good. There's no spoilage in your containers, okay? Or when you're picking them, right? So we have some avocados, right? Fresh avocados, right? I have actually let these avocados sit out for about a day or two just for they can get ripe, right? So they're kind of feeling, a little soft. So now I'm ready to bust these suckers wide open, right? Salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic powder. I love them. You can eat them all during the day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, right? This is a healthy fat. Get you some, right? So also too, I have strawberries. Look how pretty these strawberries are, right? So you see, when you're picking your fruits and your vegetables, you make sure that there's no spoilage. Your vegetables are looking great to the color, right? The texture is looking good. Also, sometimes you can smell them and you can smell the sweetness of the fruit, right? But right here, I love spinach and I love kale. So I love to get this jumbo pack of kale and spinach, right? $5. Listen, you can get you 1 pound of spinach, baby spinach, and kale blend, right? So this is perfect, 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 where you can eat this in the morning. You can get yourself a little bit of cottage cheese, a little bit of this blend right here, and a little bit of fruit. Boom, that's a whole breakfast. Mwah, delicious, right? Also, too, with that spinach and kale, you can make salads. Okay, you can also put you a little bit of tuna, a little bit of salmon spread, garlic powder, a little bit of seasoning. Perfect, right? But because I really don't eat meat, I only partake in fish just to keep my numbers and my proteins levels. I'm not trying to lose no hair, not today. Okay. Now, when I age gracefully, maybe then, but not right now. Okay. I want to keep all my hair and my nails, right? So, your girl like oyster mushrooms. Do you see how pretty those are? Oyster mushrooms. If you have not had an opportunity to taste oyster mushrooms, you are missing out. Listen, just try it. I use oyster mushrooms as a meat substitute for me. So when I'm preparing my meals, and you know how your girl always prepares these charcuteries for you, and I always put a little spread together for you, right? Listen, this is what I'm using. I'm using oyster mushrooms. Ladies and gentlemen, oyster mushrooms, right? So this is just the regular size, and it has a unique taste, right? I have actually made homemade chicken, but instead it was with oyster mushrooms. It wasn't with chicken meat, right? The poultry, right? No, I breaded it, I dipped it, and when I tell you, it was the perfect crispy fried chicken that you would ever taste, but it was oyster mushrooms. So I don't deprive myself, right? So, and then when I also fried it, I fried it, of course, in olive oil, okay, to kind of give it that crispy, and also coconut oil, right? But if you've never seen what king oyster mushrooms look like, this is what it looks like, okay? You see that? That's king oyster mushrooms. This is the regular size oyster mushrooms. King, regular, king, regular, right? So I use that as a substitute for meat. So when I'm making tacos, guess what? I'll use either tofu or I'll use my oyster mushrooms. It's the perfect meat. Has a very, very good flavor, right? Also, too, what's also good for your skin and your body, you see that fresh pineapple. I've actually set this out for a day or two so it can go ahead on and ripen, and I can get all the sweetness and the juices from it, right? But the most important key to all of this, ladies and gentlemen, right? That keeps this skin and this body where it needs to be, right? Because I want to age gracefully, flawlessly, okay? Most important key. Are you ready? Do you see this? This is the 64-ounce container, okay? This is what I am drinking my spring water or alkaline water, right? And as you see, it has little inspirational messages. 8 o'clock, it says ready to go. 10 o'clock a.m., you got it. 12 p.m., feeling awesome. 2 p.m., halfway there, okay? 4 p.m., no excuses. And if anybody knows ShonGee, okay, no excuses, no fear, no limits, baby. We just executing. 2025, baby, we executing. Say it with me. Execution. We executing, okay? We marking it up. We aiming, we setting goals, we hitting them targets, right? Then you got 4 p.m. That was no excuses. 6 p.m. a little bit more, right? 8 p.m. Yay, you did it. Listen, 64 ounces of water. This is a half of gallon of water that I partake a day. right? Of course, you're going to be going to the restroom, but guess what? You're flushing your kidneys, you're flushing your body, you're flushing your liver, you're flushing everybody, everything and everybody, all the bad toxins. You're getting it out of there, right? Partake in your water, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you, this is how I keep my skin flawless, my body aging gracefully. Okay. So, with that being said, I thought that this was the cutest. Shout out to Marion Strickland. When I tell you, she's been a long time best friend of mine for over 30 years. But when I tell you, she blessed me with this tumbler. It's a Betty Boo tumbler. You see that? Betty Blue. Because I am fly. I am dope. Okay. So in this tumbler, it's just so me, right? But on the tumbler, right? That reminds me when I'm drinking all of this water and I'm pouring those 64 ounces, if I don't want to drink it out that container and I'm pouring it in something that's going to give me that vibrancy, going to make me want to drink the water, right? This tumbler says, she who knew before, she who kneels before God can withstand anyone. And ladies and gentlemen, if you know ShonGee, baby, listen. We up here living life, living our best life, doing great things, phenomenal things in the community. Listen, we leaving legacies, okay? So since I have been fasting, right? So those are my tips, right? So you know I've been a healthcare professional for over 30 years. I love what I do. I love doing this as well. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of Wine Live V. I could not do it without any of all of you, right? So since we have been in this whole fasting era, you know, for the month of January, and I'm doing the Daniel fast, and I'm taking in all of the necessary things that I need, that I'm going to be obedient and have God to just do his thing in my life, right? And in my body, right? When we say we want to be wealthy, we got to be wealthy and healthy. That's mind, body, spirit, soul, everything, right? So how to have a fruitful year, because this is the beginning of the year, right? We're still in the month of January, right? Plant 5 rows of peas, presence, preparation, promptness, perseverance, and prayer. Plant 3 rows of squash. So I'm letting y'all know about what's in my garden. How about what's in your garden, okay? Squash the gossip, squash the criticism, squash the indifference, right? Plant 5 rows of lettuce. Let us be unselfish and loyal. Let us be true to our obligations. Let us be obedient to and obey rules and regulations. Let us be faithful to our duty, to our community, to one another. Let us love one another. God will have us love our neighbors as we love ourselves, right? Finally, what's in my garden? No garden is complete without turnips. Turn up for yourselves, okay? If you talking about being bossy and you got your businesses and you doing great things and you're a CEO and you're a founder and you doing all things great in your businesses and being a top-notch entrepreneur, listen, turn up for yourself, turn up for your meetings, right? Turn up with new ideas, right? Turn up with a smile. If you know ShonGee, I'm always smiling. I try to smile as often as I can. It keeps the wrinkles out of my face, right? Turn up with determination to make everything count for things that's worthwhile. Okay, that's what's in my garden. Shout out to Al Karim Temple, Al Karim Court. Listen, 219, baby. Listen, I am a better than amazing woman because of all of you. So shout out for pouring all of this into my garden. Okay, So I hope y'all are ready because I got a dynamic show for you tonight. When I tell you, y'all know ShonGee, she features entrepreneurs, okay? But one thing I wanted to do before I feature this entrepreneur, this business owner, okay? We go celebrate our national holiday, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., okay? Listen, let's just take 3 seconds of a moment of silence. Listen, celebrating this national holiday. Do something great. Go volunteer. Go serve your community. Serve others. Do something outside of the norm that's going to be something for someone else. Leave legacies for your children, for your grandchildren, okay? Leave legacies for yourself, your spouses. Listen, be great, okay, in all things that you do, okay? So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I got a bad, when I say a bad brother coming tonight, baby. That's going to be featured on the Wine Live V podcast with Keisha. Listen, this brother right here, this bad man, this bad, awesome, creative brother. Listen, let me introduce you to who I have featured for you tonight, Mr. Drew Tank Garrett. Drew was born in Tucson, Arizona, to Will and Espanola. He moved to Los Angeles, California shortly after his birth. He studied acting, Van Nuys Performing Arts Magnet School. He watched his father, Will Garrett, an actor for years, working in Hollywood, and inspired to follow his dad's footsteps and legacy. In 2015, Drew started his own independent film company, Black Moses Entertainment. I told you I had a bad one for you tonight, y'all. Listen, Drew is currently writing, acting, and directing films, short stories, commercials, music videos, and other projects. When I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, listen, start clapping right now. Y'all put y'all hands together when I tell you for Drew Tank Garrett. How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, Keisha?
What's up? Thank you so much for tuning in and joining and being a guest of the Wine Live V podcast. Brother, I salute you. I am so happy to have you tonight. How
Thank
you
you.
feel?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate you from being here. It's definitely a blessing to be in your presence, and everything you got going. So I'm happy. I'm blessed.
I appreciate that, brother. Listen, let me tell you something. Listen, when a queen sees a king, and when I see a CEO, and when I see a founder, when I see entrepreneurship and business ownership, listen, I go after it. Listen, paying homage to those all around the nation. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
Listen,
Thank you.
we got to give back. We don't do that enough. We don't do it enough.
Exactly.
Got to pay homage. Got to pay homage.
Yes.
Listen, Drew, it's when I tell you, I got so many questions and so many things that I want to ask you. Like watching your father in Hollywood. How was that experience for you?
Man, it was, you know what? I want to tell you like this. Growing up watching him, my dad has over 150 commercials and movies under his belt.
Wow.
So just seeing him, he passed away in 2021. He was 83 years old, and he was still grinding. He was still going auditions. He was still doing his commercials. He did not want to quit. And I think that's one thing that he inspired and instilled in me is that grind and that hustle. And, he really taught me how to go on auditions and what to do. and how to prepare yourself even before you get there.
Wow. That's
One thing my dad would do that I would never forget. I went on an audition with him. One time I was a teenager, and he went and got $300 out the bank and put it in his pocket. And he said, you know what? Whenever I go on audition, I take money with me. I put it in my pocket because if I don't get the job, it don't matter. I got money. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like, not getting it. It's not going to depress me. It's not going to hurt me because I still got enough to get me to the next one and grind on.
Listen, that's good advice. That's good advice. I had never heard of that before. Just go ahead on and put your money in your pocket because you got your money. So listen, whatever I get, it's going to be extra.
That's
listen,
right.
You know what, brother? I'm going to have to start doing that. Go ahead and give me a little cash up in my pocket,
Right.
when I'm going venturing business owners and having meetings and everything like that. Make sure that I have my money on me.
Exactly. That's right. That's right.
Listen, how many commercials and everything have you done?
You know what? I actually got it's funny you say that. I can't say his name, but a baseball player, a major baseball player, is coming out with his own tennis shoe.
Okay.
And I got cast to be in his first commercial. We start shooting next week.
Come on.
I'm out here hustling and grinding. I got about 5-6 commercials out there right now.
Listen, man. Listen, I gotta put my big guns up for you. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, Go and get it. Go and get it. Anything that you touch, I know that you already go turn it to gold.
Man, I'm trying, man. And then, it's thanks to God. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be where I am. When I started my company in 2015, let me tell you what inspired me.
Okay.
What inspired me is I happened to come across a picture, and the picture was of Jesus Christ walking on the water. But the view was you were looking up under the water at his feet as he walked, right? And the caption on that picture said, "Ye of little faith." And that picture stuck with me. And the funny thing is that led me, because I already had a script written that I had never did anything with. And so what that picture inspired me to do was bring out that script, rewrite it, and get it ready. So we started shooting on it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start a website for the business, right? Black Moses Entertainment. And so I started looking at different websites to put together, and then the price popped up. And it's like, man, I ain't going to be able to afford that, right? And then that picture, it just hit me again, came to my mind. It said, "Ye of little faith." And I got the faith to start that website, pay the money, and I've never had to worry about paying that website for these 5-6 years. 10 years at this point. That website, whether I got it or not, is paid.
You see that? Listen, you know what? That's a powerful, your business is powerful. The name in itself is powerful. Black Moses. Do you know what that represents?
That's it. It represents, yeah.
Like all I'm thinking when I seen Black Moses, I was like, you know what? I said that right there, that's helping somebody. I'm gonna bring you along with me, just like how Black Moses, how she went and she was freeing those slaves. You understand what I'm trying to say? Right? And she was walking miles and miles and miles and all treacherous, waters and areas and danger. But she wasn't gonna leave no man behind. You understand what I'm saying? So when that's power, brother, that is so much power. Black Moses.
All right. And then and with that, that's where I get my storytelling from. One of my first short films I did is called "The Education of an Abused Woman."
Mm.
And I play the abusive husband. Even though I've never been an abusive husband, I played that character. And the female that's opposite of me in that short story, she was abused in some of her relationships. So she kind of understood. And as I wrote the script, I fed off her and some of her pain. And we put that to film, and we actually made a good story. It has a positive ending because the abusive husband, what I wanted to do was show how people end up in situations. And so what I did was the husband, they had a really good marriage at first, and then he lost his job, then he started drinking, and that led into other things. And then I wanted to show how she as a wife really was trying to encourage her, but really sometimes you tend to hurt the husband because she started telling people his business, that he lost his job, he needs some help, so that caused a lot of friction. So, but if you want to check it out, it's on my YouTube channel. I put everything on my channel, Black Moses Entertainment, on YouTube. Okay. So you can check it out there. It's a good story. And I recommend anybody that's been in a relationship to look at any abusive relationship, to look at that, because there are options, there are ways out of those situations, and she ended up having to find her own.
That's deep, brother. That's deep. That is deep. And I'm definitely, when I say definitely, checking that out, because so many people out here are dealing with some form of abuse. It don't necessarily have to be physical, but some form of abuse. You understand? And people are hiding, they're in shame. And it's because of that, they're taking lives, teenagers, young people killing each other. Like it's crazy. Like our society, our times, it's so crazy. So
it's different.
Right. It's very different. Very different. Very different. I have grown children and I have a grandbaby that's 5 years old, but I am like, I know God say fear not, but I'm always praying for my 5-year-old grandbaby, because in this society and this time, you just never know what people are dealing with. And even kids are coming to school and they bringing weapons and they killing their teachers and what? Crazy madness.
Exactly. And I got 4 grandkids, and I got my son who will be graduating high school this year, 2025. Okay. I have a grown daughter who's an LVN, and she has 4 kids. And what I tell them, my son, my daughter, everybody that listens to me that I talk to, we have to stay in a constant state of fear as Black people. I'm not scared, but fear. And when I say fear, that means I need you to constantly be aware of where you are, be aware of who you with, because some people you think your friends is not your friends. Right. And I just want my grandkids, who I got 2 that are teens. And right now with these new millennium kids, they are on another level. So I'm constantly in their ear about being safe and coming home and letting people know where you are. And that's going to bring me, when I say aware, that brings me to my other short film, who I've won a dozen awards with in the film festivals right now. And it's it's called Aware. And I'm bringing awareness to the 65,000 Black women that are currently missing in America right now. And when I say Black women, there are Black men missing too. There's sex trafficking, there's organ trafficking. So we all have to be in fear and aware.
That's right. Listen, that is dope. So how does it feel to be award-winning film director? Like, how does that feel?
Man, it's I have to humble myself, and I have to give all the glory to God, because especially when it came to Aware, that was a vision that came to me from him, and he wanted me to get the word out about his people, because not too many people are talking about us missing.
Right.
And I want everybody that has an opportunity to watch that film, because there is so much information that I researched and found and I put in that film that will blow your mind. Like this one part in there where it says that Black people itself is only 13% of the population in the United States, but we're over 400% of the people that end up coming up missing. That's genocidal numbers right there.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we don't even know it.
Don't even know it. And you know, and that's so true. You gotta know, let people know where you are when it comes to our kids and our grandkids, because it's serious out here. It really is. And you know, I'm in Georgia, and here in Atlanta, sex trafficking is crazy. It's crazy here.
Yeah.
You know, where people, you know, getting sex trafficked, wind up prostituting, on drugs and homeless. It is crazy. It's crazy.
Yep. I lived in Atlanta for 16 years. I just moved back to California in 2018.
What?
Yep. I was there for 16 years.
Okay, so you know, right? You know the age, right?
Yep.
Right. So what is the difference between Atlanta and California?
Wow. The difference that I saw, and it kind of bothered me a little bit because I was meeting people all over. And one thing, here's one incident. I met this young lady. She lived in Decatur, right? And I took her on a couple of dates. And then one time I asked her, well, how do you get to, I think we were trying to go to, there is this pool hall with a bunch of pool tables down in East Point, right? I was like, so tell me how to get to East Point so we can go down there and shoot it. I heard about this pool table. She's like, I don't leave Decatur. I ain't never been out of Decatur. Huh? How you never? I couldn't understand that. And the more and more I talk to people, I see people stay in their little boroughs out there.
Right.
I done been all over California. It's not one place in LA I haven't been to.
Wow. That is crazy.
Right.
Like, how is is it still like heavily gang affiliated there in Los Angeles?
It is, but you have to be living that life for it to really affect you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I go all over the place.
Okay.
But I'm not gang related. I'm not gang affiliated. And those gang members, they know the people that are against them or with them or whatever. And they don't bother people unless you out there bothering them.
That part. Mind your business, right? Mind your business.
Mind your business.
So with you having your dad being your example and your role model of the film industry, like, how did that set you apart when you were going to your performing arts school?
You know what? I didn't even think about it then. It didn't hit me until I was an adult, really. Wow. I was going to performing arts school because I liked it. And I really didn't think it had anything to do with him, even though I was watching him and I knew he was an actor and I would see him on different commercials and shows. But I didn't think, you don't think anything of it. You just, I like being in theater. I like drama. I like the acting. And especially, being a teenager in college, a lot of the females like the actor guys. And, plus I played football. I was the captain of the football team and in theater. So, that helped me a lot with the young ladies. But when it came to my dad really inspiring me, I was an adult. And so how that happened is I was doing some Tyler Perry shows, background work. Right. While I was in Atlanta, I was doing background work. And I started going on a lot of different auditions, but I was not getting the parts that I knew I should have had, right? And so from there, I saw the picture. I had things that I had wrote and never done anything with. And that's when Black Moses was formed. I took some of one of the first projects I did is I I wrote this. You remember the show Rock?
Yeah.
Charles
I
Dutton?
actually love that show.
Yeah. So I had wrote a script for them, and I
Wow.
submitted it to the television production company the year they got canceled.
Oh,
So it
wow.
never got used or anything. So I took that script and rewrote it for our day and time now. And
Okay.
the script was called The Revolving Door. And what the script was about is about a person, about a family, and it was based on the Rock family, husband, wife, the dead, instead of a deadbeat brother, I had a deadbeat sister-in-law. And I had a next door neighbor that was like, bro, man, always coming over eating with the family, right? But there was also a cousin who was really smart that Rock had raised, and he ended up going to prison on a humbug. He went out with myself. I played the title character. He went out with myself one night, got into a bar fight because he thought somebody was trying to jump on me, and he ended up going to prison. And so 5 years later, he gets out of prison. And what we were trying to illustrate in that script is how the prison system is set up to bring you right back. So that's why it was called The Revolving Door, because he was someplace that he should have been. He was actually at a park, and this park was known for drug infestations, and the police did a raid. He ended up going back to prison on a humbug because he was trying to meet a girl he used to be in love with at that park.
Wow.
So, and basically the prison system is a revolving door. So many people come in and out, come in and out, come in and out.
Right. And you know what? And a lot of times that started from when they're young, all the way up through their teenage years to adulthood. And it's like that's all they know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all they know. You really become institutionalized.
Right.
Man, so listen, you are doing some big things, and you're so humble, just to have been able to be out there and following a legacy, from your dad, and setting your own path, and and just doing your thing. What actors or what actors or actress would you like to work with?
Ooh, I actually have a long list. To be honest with you, I want to work with Janet Jackson.
Okay.
I do. I think she's a great actress as well as a singer. Kerry Washington.
I like her.
I love her, especially the Tyler Perry film that just came out, 688.
Ooh, that thing is bad, baby. She did the acting on that, but she put the stamp on that thing.
It was powerful. Have you seen the film called The Piano Lesson?
Yes.
I can't think of her name, but the starring actress in that, I love her work. So I definitely want to do something with her. Whether it's in front of the camera with her, or directing her. Some actors don't even need no directing. They read that script and they become that person. And that's what I felt about her in The Piano Lesson.
Yes, she did that.
That was powerful. She called the ancestors.
Yeah, she did. And I was like, woo! I had goosebumps watching that movie.
Man, I'm telling you.
Wow. Listen, what's next for you? You're doing big things now. So what's next?
Oh man, look. So I got 3 projects that I'm working on. Right, one will be out this year. All the filming is done on it. I'm in the process of getting it edited. It's called The Darren Durham Story, and this is a story about a guy I actually grew up with. We're brothers. He grew up in one of the projects here in Los Angeles called the Pueblos. And when he grew up in the 70s and 80s in the Pueblos, there is a Pacific Railroad train that goes right through the middle of those projects that separates them, right? Now there's also a metro train, a LA metro train that goes through there on the same side with the Pacific Railroad. And as a child, him and his buddies, that was their playground. Jumping on the train, riding it a couple of miles, and then jumping off, right?
Right.
And at 6 years old, and I'm letting him tell his story in this film, he jumped on the train with a couple of his buddies, and there was a hook off the side of the train that grabbed his arm and threw him under the train. Darren lost both his legs at 6 years old. The impact was so powerful that one of his legs actually flew about 300 feet and landed in front of the liquor store. And Darren will walk up to you right now as a grown man, and you would not know he has false legs. Darren is also in the process of becoming a nurse practitioner. He's in the medical field. So he did not let, even as growing up, he wrestled in the high school. That's where I met him, in high school. He wrestled for our high school. He played football with us. He did not let his disability disable him. And to this day, he won't accept assistance or anything. He doesn't think he's disabled. Matter of fact, I was with him yesterday. We went to lunch, but he has always been my inspiration, because when I played football, he was our team manager, right? And I didn't even, it was one time I got hurt, and I went into the locker room to change my pads and stuff, and I'm sitting there changing my pad, and he sat next to me, and then all of a sudden he lifted up his legs and he's adjusting his legs and stuff. I'm like, man, what the hell are you doing? Right. And so that's how I found out. He's like, man, I lost my legs, man. I got ran over when I was a kid by a train. I'm like, what? So yeah, so we filmed him telling his story. We went back to the railroad tracks, and he's telling his story, and we've, interviewing some of his family, and they're saying how he grew up, and he didn't let that stop him, and he would get into fights with the kids in the neighborhood, and he would tell them to pull my leg off. I can get them better with my legs off. So, he's telling his story along with his family, and they're telling his story.
That's too funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Darren Boom story would be out this year.
Okay.
I'm writing. Did you like Kung Fu movies growing up?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. A lot of people don't realize that there were Shaolin temples in Africa. There was several different forms of martial arts in Africa. And what I'm doing is I'm writing a film called The King, the Prince, and the Warrior. And it will feature a lot of different martial arts. And
Wow.
it definitely has a really impactful story.
Wow, that is crazy, because when you said martial arts, now I have always been, very active, and always was very active with my kids, right? So I have 3 girls, right? So we all were in martial arts. And took karate, right? And just because, like, in this day and time, you gotta know how to defend yourself.
Right.
Somebody try to snatch you, grab you, whatever, right?
Your daughter's got to be able to defend their boyfriends.
Right. Because men getting grabbed too. They get snatched too, right? So yeah, so all of us were in martial arts together, and it was the best. I mean, I'm probably like maybe about a brown belt, and my kids was like a blue belt, green belt. So we used to spar and compete with each other. I used to spar with the adults, and they used to spar with the kids. But you know what, though? It was so funny. I had to cut the martial arts out, because, then my oldest daughter, she thought she's bad. Jackie Chan's sister or something. Right. Thought she was going to take me. And before I knew it, my reflexes was like, wow. Listen, I stay in shape just for you. Don't ever try that ever again. Right. But I love that. I love the fact that it's not a whole lot of people that realize that Blacks were in martial arts.
That's right.
And so I love the conditioning of it. It was, honey, listen, Listen, I was
Mhm.
bad, baby.
That's
Fine
right.
is wine.
That's right. You have to be disciplined. It's a very disciplined sport and activity.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Listen, that is dope. That is
Thank you.
so dope. When
Thank
I
you.
tell
Thank you.
you, listen, I'm up here, I'm drinking my sparkling cider, right? And you see this
Uh,
glass, if you can see that, right? It say happy
mhm.
birthday, right? So I'm
Mhm.
celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., okay?
That's
National
right.
holiday, right? So happy birthday, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. How do you feel about the holiday and celebrating, leaving a legacy, and what would you do with your kids or your grandkids during this national holiday?
Well, you know what? Dr. Martin King was about nonviolence and service.
Right.
And what I tell my kids and my grandkids is we need to service somebody. We need to help somebody.
That's
Um,
right.
even if you don't go to a program, but if you see somebody in need, if it's freezing outside, you got a coat, an extra sweater, give it to that person. Service somebody. And it's not only for them, it's for your soul too. It's
Right.
going to help you. When you help
Absolutely.
somebody, you feel good about yourself. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So, I'm really angered that this guy that's supposed to be our president decided to take that day and make it about him. But I guess with that is to be expected. And also in saying this, I do want to say something about the fires here in California. I
Yes.
know a couple of people that has been affected by that. A personal friend of mine lost her and her son lost their home. They lost
Oh,
everything. I
wow.
called her. I said, look, you need me to come help you sift through, the rubble, try to help you pull it. She just said, Drew, there's nothing left. Nothing.
Oh,
So,
wow.
we're trying to help her. We got a GoFundMe going for her and really trying to get her and her son to where they can be stable and try to bring what's left of their life back together. But, my heart goes out to all the people in California that lost and have to rebuild. And then we got a lot of people that lost their life.
Wow. And so, like in the area where you are, can you see the smoke and all of that in the
Well, where I
air?
am, I'm in the high desert, so I'm up here in the mountains a little bit. And it
Okay.
didn't really, the fires directly in LA didn't really affect us. But by me being these mountains right here, they've been known to burn too. And so I was just fortunate. I was just fortunate because it could have easily have been me. And yeah, we can see the smoke, we can smell it. Um, so it's horrible. I mean, even when the fires get put out, it's going to be years before they can rebuild because now the land is contaminated.
Mm.
The
Wow.
water, everything's contaminated. They have to start over strictly from scratch. And even the houses that were in the burn areas that got missed because the fire would take out 5 houses and maybe miss one and hit the other 5. Those ones that are still standing, they have to be decontaminated. Those families won't be able to move back into those houses right away.
That's horrible. That
Yeah,
that is devastating.
it is. It is. It was rough. It is rough. It's still going on.
And it's like, you know what? Here it is in one part of the world, you got the fires, and here it is on the East Coast. We going through a whole snowstorm.
Right,
Okay.
right,
So
right.
one side burning and the other side is cold. And it's like this whole global warming or whatever is going on.
It
It's
is.
it's like mind baffling,
It is.
it's crazy. I'm just happy that you and your family are safe. If there's anything that we can do, just let us know. But I definitely sympathize with you in regards to that, because that's devastating for that
Yeah.
family. It really, really, really is. So how can the people follow you?
They can follow me on Facebook, Black Moses Entertainment. I'm Drew Tank Garrett. Also on Instagram, Black Moses Entertainment, Andrew Tank Garrett. You can follow me on those. And then my website, blackmosesentertainment.com.
Okay, Black Moses everything. Okay.
That's
Listen,
right.
Drew.
Yes, ma'am.
For a person that is interested in going into drama and theater and in the film industry, but they really don't have no direction. They have a vision or a dream, but they don't know what to do with that vision or that dream to be in the industry. What information and what advice would you tell someone that was looking to be in the industry but just didn't know how to go about it?
Well, number one, most important thing is believe in yourself. If you believe, you can achieve, right? So you take that belief, and then if you don't have any acting experience, find a junior college that has a theater program and start doing little drama classes. Work on your portfolio. Get some if you can afford it, get some glamour shots, or if you have a friend that's in photography, get them to take some shots of you. And then there are now, this day and age, since we're a digital age now, there are a ton of like there's this one site, actually a couple of them I know of, casting networks. What they do is you can sign up with them, throw your pictures up, and then they will start emailing you the different companies in your area, different production companies and casting agencies that need people right away. And then you can start submitting your pictures to those, and start getting background work and other work from that, and then just start growing from there.
Listen, that's dope. That's great advice. Great advice. I remember me being a podcaster. It was so crazy because that vision or that dream, I had a pastor that I actually went to her church, and she just prophetically spoke over me, and she said, I see you on the camera. I see you, writing. I see you acting. I see you doing, things publicly, right? And I was like, nah, honey, not me. I like to be behind the scenes and push things forward, make things work. But she was like, no, I see. And this was literally a couple of years ago. Okay. And then I had a dream, I had a vision that I was going to be writing, and I had wrote books. And so just to know what you said, you got to believe it. If you believe it, you can achieve it. It's because all of the things that I believed and I dreamed, or what was spoken over me years ago, it's right now. It's happening right now. So
Right.
it's like you have to really be careful what you put out there in the atmosphere as
That's
far as
right.
negativity, because all of that would channelize how you feel about yourself, right?
That's right.
So I'm so grateful, because I was like, anyone that know me, and when I tell you I love your vibe, I love your aura about you. You're so humble to be in a position out there in California, Hollywood. God knows that we only can imagine just having a part of that Hollywood lifestyle, and you right there in the midst of it, taking it all in, living it. You know what I'm saying? So when I tell you, it is such an honor, such an honor.
Well,
And
thank you. Thank you. And I would like to say this. I've never been to a Diddy party. I
right.
don't want to go.
Out there.
Don't want to go.
Right. Put it on out there. I know that's right.
That's it.
You said you in Hollywood, but not in that type of Hollywood.
Right. Exactly. No, I know when it's time to go home.
All right. Right. I know that's right. I know that's right. It has been such a pleasure. When I tell you, listen, the amount of nuggets and the advice that you have poured into tonight. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you are taking some notes down. Please go back and relook at this episode because this right here was phenomenal. If you want to be in the industry, you are talking to Mr. Drew Garrett himself, film director, actor, writer, Black Moses Movies, Entertainment. When I tell you, you have set the tone, my brother. You set the tone.
Thank you. Thank you. And you have too. And that pastor that spoke over you, she told the truth because I see in you great things and you should be in front of the camera.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I really, really, really appreciate that. Now, listen, I'm still working on my nerves.
Okay.
I'm working on my nerves, you know. Sometimes, I still get a little nervous and stuff like that. But I did think about taking some acting lessons and, trying to get into some drama and stuff like that. I know my father, he's a jack of all trades, and he even have a portfolio and submitted, his picture and stuff like that for Tyler Perry to be as backups and stuff like that. So when I tell you, I come from a family of creatives, drama, art, singing, musicians. So yeah, dancing. So I have a little bit of everything in me. But I really, really, really appreciate you, Drew.
Thank you.
We go toast this thing on out. If there is anything that ShonGee Enterprises, Wine Live podcast can do for you, help promote any of your movies, your shows, anything that you got going on, please, please, please stay in contact with me. And I'm going to stay in contact with you. Listen, I want to come to California. I know it's on fire right now, but I still want to come to California. But it's always good to have that connection. So I go, I can have somebody that can show me the sights and take me around. I don't want to just go out there willy-nilly, okay?
All right. I got you.
So listen, I appreciate you, brother. Listen, keep doing big, big, big things. You done set the tone, set the bar up high. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, you got Drew Garrett in the building, okay? Thank you so much for tuning in to Wine Live V. Listen, cheers.
Cheers to you.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been my time. I hope you have had an opportunity to wind down. I hope you've had an opportunity to take some good nuggets tonight, baby. You got the film director himself. If you want to get in some industry of film and directing and acting, listen, I definitely encourage you to follow him and to contact him. I'm sure he will love to tell you everything that you would need to know. But it has been my time. Until we meet again, ciao.